the concept of being behind in life. As a therapist, it's something I hear all the time, especially within young people. It's my dog wanting to come in already. As a therapist, I hear it all the time, especially among younger people, just that idea of I'm behind, or I feel like I'm getting behind, or I need to do more, be more, fanfare, or the frustration of why aren't I being or doing enough. There's very much an undercurrent of should, which is one of my least favorite words. So I should be doing more, I should have achieved this at my age, I should have been there, done that, otherwise behind. And I mean, the irony is that not only is it exceptionally demoralizing, but it's also creating the perfect storm mindset-wise for you to stay exactly where you are. If you keep judging yourself about how far you have to go, or chastising yourself for not having done enough, that mindset is just going to breed more discontent and frustration. It's not going to get you ready for the next stage of your life. So let's talk about feeling behind in life and how to reframe that in a healthier way. And my first point is that when you get to where you want to be, not only is it not going to matter, but you're likely not going to care how long it took you to get there. It's done. The win is had. You made it. Like when I got my qualification, I wasn't then thinking, oh no, it shouldn't have taken me this long. I was just reveling in the fact that I'd made it. Same with getting a certain job, finishing your education, getting married, having a baby. Your success isn't diminished due to the time it took you to get there. Time is arbitrary, very much a human construct. I mean, a lot of the times the waiting makes it even better when you get there. You've got to think that like motherhood is just as beautiful at 38 as it is at 22. Or like once you're in your chosen profession, it's go time, it's crunch time. You made it and now it's time to be established and enjoy it because you've made it. It's no longer, you're not going to lose sleep over the journey. You're not going to be thinking, gosh, if only I'd done this 20 years ago, because it's completely futile. You know, what matters is that you've got started and you have shown up for yourself and you have made it now. And another example is, you know, it's better to marry later on and be sure than it is to marry young and have to face the ramifications of having chosen the wrong partner later. It won't matter how long it took you to get there once you are there. Do you know, one of my favourite points on this subject matter, I don't even know where I heard it now, but I've got a funny feeling it was in the Lord of the Rings books. I digress. But when I was training, like I was doing a new training course, I was studying a new course, and I said to somebody that I was on it and it was like a 4-year course, and they just had the attitude of, oh my God, but you're going to be 28 by the time you finish. Like, sorry guys, but you know, spoiler alert, I'd have been 28 anyway. Like, it's a completely moot point, really. It blows my mind that that's an excuse that people use to not get started on things. Like, okay, if you start your degree now, then you might not be 40 until you complete it, but then you'll either be 40 with a degree or 40 without one. You know, like the time is going to pass. You might as well utilize it to be doing something that you're going to thank yourself for, rather than just committing to staying where you are now. Otherwise, you're agreeing to the stagnancy. I guess it's the same idea as best time to plant an apple tree was 10 years ago and the second best time is today. Like, just because you haven't done the work or studied or got the job, it doesn't mean that you have to accept your fate of mediocrity. You know, you can do something about it now, regardless of how old you are. It's also that by never trying, you're guaranteeing that you won't be a success. Right? So you could either start the YouTube channel, or you could start the business or the company or the trade, the skill. You could do that now, and then you are in with a chance. You're in the game. You're in with a chance of success, financial stability, security. But if you don't try, you've guaranteed that you're going to stay in the same place. You know, you got to be in it to win it. You've got to put yourself forward to kind of reap the rewards. Fortune favours the bold. I can throw all the idioms you want, but they all boil down to the same thing, that you have to be the one who opens that door, because the only person who's leaning against it is also you. I can't remember the quote. I'll write it, but it's something about, you know, if you do what you've always done, then you'll get what you've always gotten. And I think that's very true. And I think that we forget to embody that. Like, I had the same realization a few days ago of frustration about having not moved forward with something. But then if I actually look at myself and think, okay, but what have I done differently in the last month or two? The answer is nothing. So I'm receiving the same output because I'm putting the same in. So, you know, I think it's a comforting notion to think that actually it always starts with us. I think in a similar vein, it's worth remembering optimistic nihilism. One of my favorite topics, actually. I already did a video on it, so I'll link that now. I did that ages ago. I can't even remember what I said, but it's like a theory that I use in counseling, but sparingly, because not everybody can get on board, and I don't want to give anybody some existential dread that they weren't asking for. But it also kind of ties in with, I think it was Buddha, or Gandhi, somebody wise and old. Whatever you do will not matter, but it's very important that you do it. And I didn't used to get it, and now I get it. It's just that idea of, again, like showing up for yourself, doing things just because, not needing a reason, like being joy motivated, supporting others, contentment. It's just doing it anyway. You got to think, like, the sun's going to explode. 120 billion people have lived and died, like we are microscopic, but you being here still counts. So similarly, take the trip, learn new stuff, do things just because they're fun, go at your own pace. It just doesn't matter. There is no behind in life. It's a myth. It's futile to compare yourself to others, but you can compare yourself to past self, and feeling as though you're letting yourself down for not showing up for yourself is valid. And I know that you've heard this because we've all heard this, but comparison is the thief of joy. You have nothing to gain from comparing yourself to other people. Plus, there is always going to be somebody better looking, more talented, richer. Like, there's always going to be somebody better than you. But you have no assurance that they're happier, or that they have gratitude for what they have, or that they have any contentment in their life. You know, you don't have that guarantee. They just might look shinier on the surface. And that's why your only measure of success is your past self. I'm fully on board with that as well. So if you can look back at you a year ago and be thinking, actually, I have not moved a jot. I'm in the exact same position. I have the same mentality. I haven't grown. I haven't learned. I haven't expanded. Then you're right, that's on you. Do something about it. But if you're looking back and thinking in any way, I've progressed, I've grown, I've learned, I've been further down the path or the journey, then, you know, who says that you're lacking? It's only you that's weighing and measuring yourself and finding yourself wanting. You know, realize that growth is growth. Because if you can't look at yourself and think that you have grown, then that's a really good place to start, you know? Like, rock bottom's just as good a place to start as anywhere. And, you know, think of the comeback you'll have. So start thinking, what area of your life could you show up differently in to feel as though you're progressing and betting on yourself? And it's really helpful, truly, if you can work out why you're self-sabotaging or why you aren't letting yourself really go in the direction that you feel called in. Is it looking foolish? Is it failing? Is it falling flat on your face? Is it people laughing at you? I don't know. You might not know. But these are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Otherwise, we're never going to get past the barriers that are holding us where we are. And, you know, as before, perky as ever, you're going to die anyway. You might as well start and fail and at least know that you showed up. Well, somebody's woken up. God, he's so cute. Makes me angry. But you could start by using these journal prompts. So pause the video if you need longer to read them or to write them down. What would I do if I knew I could not fail? What emotion comes up in my body when I think about working towards my dream? Or what resistance? What's the worst thing that could happen if I lived an authentic life that brought me joy? What's the best thing that could happen if I tried to achieve my dreams? Where could I be in 5 years if I started now? Where could I be in 5 years if I keep doing what I'm doing? I think those last two are the most powerful, just because sometimes we need a bit of a reality check, or we just need someone to come and slap us a bit and just say, look, you are choosing to stay right where you are. Because if you're not changing it, you are choosing it. That is always That's always the undercurrent here. So you might not think you are, but actually you've always got autonomy and agency over how you're showing up, what you're putting your energy into. You know, one of the ways that I like to humble my clients is when they say, I haven't got any time to work on myself. And I'm like, show me your screen time. You know, I'm just as bad. Like I'm a total hypocrite. But you got to think we do have the time. It's just where we choose to pour ourselves. Do something. Read a book, learn a skill, be brave, stretch your comfort zone in some way, travel to a new place, start a hobby. And do you know what? I love the new phrase that's going around. Do it for the plot. It's possible that I forgot to do an outro again. If you have found this beneficial or helpful at all, then please do leave me a comment, say hi. I love hearing from you guys. Give me a thumbs up, because, you know, motivation, hit that dopamine. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.